It's time. It's time for real.
It's time.
We not faking no more. It's time for real. LeBron. Bron Cienega Boulevard. Bron Water Canyon. Bronco. Bron Vicente Boulevard. Bron Set. Bron LaQuanga.
Nah.
Bron Wanger.
Nah.
I know. Bron Wanger's trash.
Yeah, see, you try. You always get like 5 and then you run out of ideas.
Bron Wanger's trash.
And then, but it's cool. I like it. It's nice. But welcome, as always, it's King Watch, your boy TPJ. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Real TPJ. We're finally here. We're finally at the season. Preseason is over. Season begins this week. Obviously, this will come out before the Lakers play their first game. So I guess we should spend the next 30 minutes talking about our expectations on what we think are going to happen for the Lakers this year. So go ahead. I mean, you saw preseason. We got to see the Lakers. The Lakers are undefeated. I didn't get my plug. Okay. Let's hop right into it.
I guess they know it's already.
They know it's already. No. We're gonna do it still. But we saw 2 preseason games. Okay, fine. 2 preseason games. Give me 10-second thought on Lakers versus Warriors.
I think the Warriors are gonna have a tough time with this team this year. I think they had a tough time last year, and I think they're a good team to have a tough time this year.
All right, plug. Go ahead, get your plug.
As always, at Pavy World, P-A-V-Y World, all one word. Go check out Pavverse Volume 1. It's out right now. Pavverse Volume 2 is on the way. So make sure you guys check that out.
Yeah, and as always, your boy TPJ. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Real TPJ. That's REEL TPJ. It's a film joke. If you don't get it, you damn dummy. And as always, this is King Watch. It's about LeBron. If you don't want to hear us talk about LeBron, then you shouldn't be listening to this because it's all about LeBron on the Lakers. If it's not about LeBron, we don't want to hear about it. So, yeah, I mean, we saw full preseason. LeBron played in every game in the preseason except for what, 2? Except the last one. So we got to see a good taste of LeBron last year. Obviously, LeBron had the foot injury, right?
He sprained his ankle.
So he didn't play in preseason at all, which I think definitely didn't lend well for the Cavaliers' start last year with all the new pieces. But he got to play with all his new pieces this year. Lonzo is back fully healthy. 2 full games against the Warriors, 20+ minutes in each of those games. Obviously the Lakers open up against the Trailblazers on the road, so let's talk about that.
I think they'll win this game.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, for one, I think that everybody in the West, for the most part, took a step up, including the Lakers.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have LeBron, you bring in JaVale, Ingram comes back another year progressed, Lonzo comes back another year progressed. I think that everybody in the West took a step up, and the Blazers kind of just stayed the same. And I don't really know if the Blazers got any better unless guys like Zach Collins or like Nurk comes back with something new, or Dame comes back much improved. I don't know if I kind of feel like Dame might have hit his peak last year. I don't know how he gets better and just expands upon what he did.
The only way he does that is by winning MVP, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't know if he can expand upon what he did last year. CJ, I think those 2 guys are kind of I feel like they're at their peak, and this is kind of where they're gonna stay pretty much until they tail off, which doesn't bode well for Portland unless they can get some other guys in there. And again, I just think that honestly the Lakers have a better team than what Portland does. And I'm not one of the notion that thinks the Lakers will get off to a pretty slow start. I mean, even if you watch the first game they played with the Nuggets, they had a couple little issues, but for the most part, the defense looked great. What I look at with the Lakers is pretty much the defense. You got Bron there, so the offense is automatically gonna come. If nothing else, get a ball to Bron, you can't go that wrong. So the offense is gonna be fine regardless. They're gonna figure it out offensively. You got Rondo on the court, you got Bron on the court, you got Lonzo on the court, you got Ingram. You got too many playmakers to not be able to score at all. My issue is defense. As long as the defense looks great, and even just looking at who Portland has in the backcourt. Not saying that Lonzo is Drew Holiday because he's not.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. But for instance, the only person who cooked Lonzo last year that I saw was Dame.
Yeah.
And that was, remember the game he had 14. He pretty much shut him down for 3 quarters, and in the fourth he went crazy.
Yeah, and then he hit the game winner, right?
Yeah, I think because
was that the game winner game?
No, the game winner game was the first game.
Okay.
So again, how Lonzo got introduced to basketball was Dame.
Yeah.
So I think that he's come back a year improved, again a year bigger. I think he's probably at this point bigger than what Dame is for the most part.
He is. Hell yeah, Dame is 6'3", 290. Dame is 6'3", 190, not 290.
Yeah, so like
Lonzo is like 6'6", 210.
Yeah, maybe last year was more of an even match. Now it's an actual mismatch. Yeah. Like I'm bigger than you, and even you saw what Drew
Lonzo
did.
was D'ing up Clay during the preseason. Yeah, like on Clay. Like they put Lonzo on Clay.
Yeah, and even like you saw what happened with Drew against like Lonzo. And again, not saying that Lonzo is Drew, but Drew is a bigger guard. Yeah. Like Dame is bigger than most point guards.
I mean, you meant Dame against Drew, not Lonzo against Drew.
Yeah. Like Dame is bigger than most point guards, but there are those two that could be twos, like Drew, like Alonzo, like a Fultz, who are bigger than him.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I don't think the Lakers get up to a slow start, and I do think that they'll win this first game against.
Yeah. You know, I agree that they're definitely gonna win the first game. I think coming off the preseason, they look really, really good. I'm really, really proud of how well LeBron has fit within his group. I think that he, versus a lot of the other time when he has new groups, I felt like he comes into it more of a mentality of like, hey guys, like rally around me. And I think this year, what we've seen even from him going in and having separate practices with guys during the off season and working out with those guys well before it was ever required, for him to do it. It was more about, hey guys, let's rally around each other. Versus it being like, I mean, obviously LeBron says everybody's got to learn how to play with me. Understandable. He's one of the greatest players ever. You have to learn how to play around him. But I feel like he's put the onus on himself to say, hey, guys, we're a team. You guys come and let's all get together. Let's all figure it out. You guys are all young. Let me figure out how to work with that energy. And even you see LeBron like making jokes and laughing in the comments with the guys on Instagram. That's what they were doing last year. And everybody was calling them immature for doing it, saying how will LeBron work with them this year. I feel like LeBron has made it a point in the emphasis this summer to be a part of them versus it being like, hey, I'm joining you guys. You got to learn how to be with me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I feel like that will lend itself immediately off the bat in terms of chemistry. I think even looking at Lonzo coming back, and if Lonzo's going to play 30 minutes a game, then that means Rondo's going to be around 18 to 20 minutes a game, which is perfect. And I think that doesn't lend well towards Dame and CJ because Dame and CJ struggled against Rondo and Holiday. And Lonzo is a good defender. And you got KCP. And Ingram plays good defense. Evan Turner. So the Trailblazers are gonna have their hands full to start off the preseason. But I think that this Lakers team is gonna be interesting to see where they go and how they get off to to that start. Speaking of that start,
real quick. Going back to your LeBron point, like, this is the third time he switched teams. So I think you learn and you assess your mistakes from like the first two times. Again, he once had a young point guard in Kyrie. Not granted,
and
Kyrie,
Mario Chalmers.
Yeah, Chalmers. That's two young point guards. Not granted, like Kyrie is. I think of like the reason I think Kyrie is special is because of his like mind state. Like there ain't too many Kyries out there. Same way it wasn't too many Kobe's, ain't too many Kyries.
Yeah, he's one of the smartest players in basketball.
Yeah, and it's like it's not too many guys who would say like.
I don't necessarily. I'm not gonna put that on intelligence because he said the Earth was flat. But I'm talking about from
I feel like you have to
I'm talking about from a basketball IQ standpoint. Kyrie has a very high basketball IQ.
But
you say the world flat. I'm not gonna say your IQ. Your normal IQ. That's
like even. I think even saying a comment like that, you have to be one who always. Hold on, wait, real quick. You have to be one who always wants to question things. And if you're one who wants to question things, then I think that you're one who longs and searches for knowledge. No matter what not granted. He even admitted that, no, it's not flat.
You know what Kyrie does? He do good though.
No, listen. He even admitted that it's not flat. But you gotta think Kyrie's a guy who came from high school, spent 1 year at Duke. He went to Duke. You had to be smart to go to Duke. Hold on, real quick, let me talk. You had to be smart. He probably made those comments when he was like 22, 23 years old. I was once 22 years old watching Mad History Channel. Now, granted, I wouldn't say the Earth is flat.
Why are we talking about Kyrie a Celtic on the LeBron show? Get to the point. Get to the point.
Because listen. You're saying this is the third time Bron switched, so even if you look at what went wrong between LeBron and Kyrie, no matter what you say, LeBron has to assume some blame for the relationship, no matter what. So this is
LeBron's fault, but go ahead.
Whatever. I think some of it is Kyrie's own personal desires. I think Kyrie just one who just wants more. No matter what, Kyrie wants more, and that's what makes you great. One who just wants more. So I think that is just Kyrie's own personal desires, but still as well, you like if you're Bron, you're the other party, you have to assume some blame. And I think that he just sees how that situation went. Now you got a whole cast of young guys. So you know what? What did I do wrong with this situation? Maybe I could have called Kyrie to come work out during the off season. Maybe I could have interacted with Kyrie the way that Kyrie wants to be interacted with. So I think he comes here, sees these young guys, and again he's old. Like it's not like Bron was coming in in the middle of his prime. I think that he spent his prime years in Cleveland the second time around, personally. I think his athletic prime was in Miami, but his basketball prime, when he put it all together, was in Cleveland. At this point, no matter what you want to think, I think Bron is past that level. I still think that his prime is still going because he's still probably the best player in the league. But again, every year you come a little bit more back to the pack, which is why he had to add other things to his game that we didn't see in previous years, because you can't do some things that you used to do. So you have to lean on these guys a lot, so you don't want to alienate these guys.
It's also their team.
That too.
It's been their team.
And again, you come into a situation,
even thinking back to Kobe, I mean, some of these guys are still left over from that era.
Nah, and just even you thinking back to a situation, yo, we got Dan Gilbert up there, and we got David Griffin. I think his name's David Griffin.
Yeah, well, they had David Griffin.
They had David Griffin. We got Magic Johnson there.
Yeah,
we got Magic Johnson.
Jeannie Buss.
And Jeannie Buss.
And Rob
It's a whole different situation. And you coming in Cleveland, you're going to do what you want to do. No, LeBron, you are an employee. I think for and even being with that, like with Pat Riley, he was an employee. I think we went back to Cleveland, he was LeBron James, pretty much the franchise. In Miami, he was an employee. And I think here he's an employee, but instead of Pat, you got Magic up there. You got somebody who you can relate to, because in so many sense of the word, they were you before you. So I think LeBron just assesses his mistakes from the other 2 times of leaving the franchise, and you'll say, you know what can I do better this time? But
yeah, so let's talk schedule. Lakers schedule going into the season. I'm looking at it right now. Give me 1 second. So obviously we got Lakers Portland first. Then we got Lakers versus Rockets. Then after Lakers versus Rockets, Lakers versus Spurs. Then Lakers versus Phoenix. Then Lakers versus Denver. Then versus San Antonio, Minnesota, Dallas, Portland, Toronto, Minnesota, the Kings, the Hawks, the Portland, and then that's when November 15th happens, which the season will be a full month. So for the first full month of the season, they play non-playoff teams 1, 2, 3, 4 times technically, which is the Hawks, the Kings, the Nuggets, and the Suns. The rest are all playoff teams. So how do you think that they'll fare for the first month?
I think they can go like 62, 63%.
Okay.
I think they'll be better. I know some people saying 500 or below 500, but the thing with me is I think that they're better than most of those teams. I think honestly, they're better than most of those teams. Like even if
they play 14 games to begin the season, so what do you think their record will be in the first month?
14 games. I think they could go maybe 9-6.
Okay.
Which is not bad. Like you start up 9-6 for a new team. I'm not mad at that. Like you got a whole bunch of young guys. You got pretty much a new team. I'm not mad at that. I think 9-6 is a realistic thing that they could go. Again, I think that they're better than most of those teams. I think that if you do this, if you have most of those games on game 75, I think that they would beat most of those teams.
I think you mean 8-6, but I feel you. But
86,
I feel you.
86,
I'm not upset at that.
86. I think if you have most of these games on game 74, game 75, that they win those games. But I think that because, again, it's a new team, they're going to lose some of those games that they would win because the team is just new.
Yeah, see, I see a loss coming versus the Rockets. I see a loss coming potentially versus the Spurs. I see a loss coming versus... I don't think that they're going to win. Don't think that they're going to beat Portland the second time when they play them in November. I don't think that they're going to beat Portland. I think they're going to lose one of those 2 games to Minnesota, and I think they're going to drop one of those games versus either the Clippers, the Kings, or the Suns. So what's that put them at? So it's tough. I think 8-6 is not a bad prediction. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 7-7. LeBron teams always start off slow, but even going into getting into the meat of the second full month of the season, they play against the Magic, the Heat, the Cavs, the Jazz, the Magic, the Nuggets, the Pacers, the Mavericks, the Suns. Then they play the Spurs twice, the Grizzlies, Miami, and then the Rockets, and then pretty much that's kind of the 10 days before Christmas. So that's the next stretch. So I think the next stretch they can wind up probably going more 10-4 in that stretch because they'll play a lot of non-playoff teams. I think the initial stretch they start off 7-7. I'm not upset at the 8-6 thing, but I think it just depends, man. I think it depends on how well Lonzo and Ingram play with LeBron. We didn't see LeBron score a lot during the preseason. He had his stretches where he had a couple good halves, but we're talking about a full game now, right? LeBron has only essentially played the first half. So now we got to see for 48 minutes, because in the second half of those games, those young guys have been essentially able to run wild, do whatever the hell they want to do for the whole game. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be able to work out the way that we think. And even with KCP was up and down in the regular season. Kuzma had preseason. Kuzma had a terrible start to the preseason. So I think that we'll see.
I don't care what the per 36 say. Kuzma didn't.
No. Kuzma didn't have a good preseason. He didn't have a good preseason.
A lot of those came, like you said, the second half, and they were allowed to run wild and do what they wanted.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. Okay, obviously we just talked about where they begin. What do you think LeBron's numbers are through the first month of the season? What are his averages, and why?
LeBron's about the first month of the season. They give you about
because you picked LeBron as your MVP front runner, right?
LeBron at 80.
Okay, so in order for LeBron to be there,
I think he'll give you about through the first month of the season like 25, 8 and 8, pretty much kind of around the same what he gave you last year. Well, maybe 25, 8 and 6 more so than 8.
Okay,
6 or 5.
Okay.
Because I don't know if he'll have the ball enough to give you 8 assists. Because there's no reason for him to have the ball enough to give you 8 assists. I think he'll give you about 25, 8, or maybe 25, 9, and 5, something like that. I think his rebounding will jump up. Just even the first half of the Warriors game, he got like 10 rebounds in like a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I think just the fact he's playing nearer towards the rim and the fact that he doesn't have to expend as much energy bringing the ball up court will allow him to rebound better. And also they need him to rebound better.
Yeah.
Especially if they want to run Kuzma at the 5, he's far and away the best rebounder on the court. So he's going to have to get in there and go rebound.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think he has to go out here and average 30. I don't think he'll average something like 30 this year. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
He has enough scores where he doesn't have to do that. And, again, for him, this LeBron 16th season, we not playing for the regular season. We playing for the playoffs. Now look.
I think this year more than any year in the past 10 years for LeBron, you're playing for the regular season. Because even when you were in Cleveland, even when he made the second return to Cleveland, everybody looked at that Cavaliers team as being the Cavaliers were looked at as the favorites to win a championship.
Yeah.
So with this year, we got people telling us that the Lakers aren't going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, but
so I mean, let's be honest. Let's be really honest about it. I mean, this regular season to me matters because you have to build camaraderie. Because if you don't build that camaraderie, you could be very well looking at a scenario where you are a 7th, 8th seed and you don't want to play the Warriors the first round. And if you like to go from the finals to losing in the first round, that's a big leap. And in order for you to do that, you have to avoid the Warriors and the Rockets in the first round, which means you have to be either a 4 through 6 seed or a 3 through 6 seed to avoid those teams. So Bron got a lot of work cut out ahead of him. You have to play well.
Yeah. No.
So I think LeBron coming out for this season is actually going to I think LeBron for the first month of the season actually averages 28, 10 rebounds, and I'm saying 6 assists. And I think LeBron is going to shoot around 40% from the three-point line because I think that his threes will come more in rhythm. He'll get a lot more open three-point shots, and I think that his assists will drop because you have Rondo and you have Lonzo and Ingram, and I think that a lot of those LeBron assists come from him holding the ball, pounding it, and then a guy running off a screen to get a 3. Well, now instead of that guy being Korver or Kevin Love, that guy's KCP. So I don't see all of those easy assists from threes that LeBron would get from Kevin Love and J.R. Smith and Korver. I think that a lot of those are assists like with people, with cutters.
Yeah.
And I think that guys like Ingram and Kuzma are gonna have to learn to play with LeBron in a cutting style versus with Lonzo and Rondo having the ball in their hand. Mm-hmm. Those guys are are running around looking to get guys shots versus LeBron is standing holding the ball, passing guys open versus Rondo and Lonzo are making plays. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like LeBron is a great playmaker, obviously one of the greatest playmakers of all time, but LeBron is a shot creator for guys where he's passing them open versus Rondo and Lonzo are more of shot creators in terms of them making plays for other guys versus Rondo who's passing guys. I mean, LeBron is passing guys open. And Rondo and Lonzo are more so making plays for guys, especially at this juncture in LeBron's career. Maybe early on in LeBron's career, LeBron was running around making plays for guys. Now it's more so about I'm going to stand, I'm going to hold the ball. You run off a couple screens. I get you open. In this scenario, you run off screens and you cut into the rim versus you, Brandon Ingram, taking corner threes or top of the key threes or whatever. Lonzo has got to actually shoot better. You know, his first three-pointer of the season. But his first three-point he shot an air ball. So but still, it's not the point. Shakiness.
Every shot since then has looked good. It looks,
yeah, but we have to worry about how shaky he's going to be. He shot 35 and 30% from field and three last year.
Look,
there has to be a vast improvement. And if Lonzo can come out and give you 37, 38% from three, then maybe Bron can stretch the floor like that.
38.
Even 35%.
Listen,
that's a huge leap.
All I need from Lonzo is about, you can't shoot 37% from the field. From the field, you need to at least shoot about 44, 45%.
He has to be at 45.
Exactly, from the field. But from three, if he can give me even 34, 35. 34, 35, even 33 is fine as long as you're shooting 45% from the field. I'm not so much worried about the three, because even if you're shooting 33% from three-pointer, it's like Russ thing. Like, you can't just stand out there and let Russ shoot threes. You got to at least think about getting a hand up in Russ' face when he's shooting threes.
I agree with you through the first 40 minutes of the game. Through the last 8 minutes of the game. Through the first 40 minutes of the game, let that man shoot all he wants. He can't shoot.
But still,
the only time you ever really see Russ cashing threes is at the end of the game. Russ kind of play like me at the end of the game. Like, when I know I'm losing and I got to, like, catch up and make points, it's like, then you start hitting. But before then, hell no.
Yes, but still.
Hell no.
Yes, but still. If you see Russ get the ball for a three, people are going to instinctively run out to Russ. Like, you're gonna be
have fun with that player. Have fun with that career 32% three-point shooter.
I feel you.
Hey, look, in the game, if Russ go 8 or 15 in the game for threes, then we deserve to lose. If Lonzo goes 6 or 10 from three, then we deserve to lose that game.
Lonzo goes 6 or 10 from three, you probably lost by a lot of points.
Exactly, we deserve to lose that game.
You lost by.
If Steph goes 6 or 15, 6 or 10 from three, maybe you might have a chance because you game planning around.
No, you don't, because you let that man took 15 to 16 threes. You know what I say about Steph. I can tell how good you defended Steph by how many threes he even got to attempt.
I disagree with that, because he's still gonna jack him up.
No.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Nah.
In the past, he would.
I disagree with that. I'm firmly in disagreement.
Like, even in game 3 of the finals, against which is why I thought LeBron and the Cavs.
He couldn't hit a shot that game.
But listen, he didn't jack him up. He took 11.
But why would you keep shooting if you can't miss it?
Exactly.
He literally said, I could tell from the beginning of the game that was going to be one of the worst shooting nights of my career, so I tried to do other things to get guys involved.
He took 11.
Huh?
He took 11. 11
what?
Because, but look, you want to know why? Because his basketball IQ was improved. 3 years ago, he still would have took
3 years ago, he was the only guy on the team that could be taking the goddamn shot. So, of course, you got to shoot him.
You could have went to the rim.
KD is on there. You saw what Kevin Durant did to LeBron James and the rest of the Cavs in that team.
Nah, look.
That was Harrison Barnes.
Look.
It was Harrison goddamn Barnes.
Look, listen.
Stop it.
Look, listen. I even thought that.
Lonzo, you should not be taking 10 threes at all. You should be taking 7 max.
He shouldn't even take 7.
No, 7. No, I want Lonzo to take 7. You want to know why? Because if Lonzo's taking 7, then that means that you have to trust him. You have to go out there and defend him, which means you can't collapse down on the lane on LeBron and Ingram. KCP is gonna get them shots. Hart gonna get them shots, but that's fine. You gonna take your chances with KCP and Hart shooting. If Lonzo's out there taking three-pointers, you got to be accountable, especially if he's shooting 35%, because that means he's hitting at least 2 to 3 randomly.
The thing that I think Lonzo needs to do is to be able to finish better and also up his free throw percentage. Again,
Lonzo has to shoot 70 to 80% from the free throw line.
Look, same thing that Isaiah Thomas said about Ben Simmons. Lonzo is 6'6", 205 at this point. Yeah. You're going to get fouled, bro. Like, people are going to foul because you're just too big for a lot of people. Yeah. I need to see Lonzo be aggressive. One thing I still, even judging our preseason, that I didn't like about Lonzo, I felt he wasn't aggressive enough sometimes. I still need to see Lonzo be more aggressive, and I need to see him be able to finish better in the paint. Even like the lob that Braun threw to him. Like, who can defend that? If you playing the way you should play, you playing as like aggressive and with that dog in you that you should be playing, who can defend that? You're going to get fouled. Yeah. Lonzo should be, amongst guards, one of the leaders in points in the paint. Yeah. There's no reason he was,
and amongst NBA players, he was one of the worst field goal percentage shooting players in the paint.
I can't have that. Yeah. You're 6'6", 205. Yeah. I can't have that.
It was below 45% shooting in the paint.
Yeah, I don't need you taking 7, 8 threes.
He was up there with Willie Cauley-Stein.
You can't fucking shoot like that. I don't need you taking that many threes. Yeah. I need you taking about 4 to 5 threes a night, good threes. Like, they swung you that bitch and you was open. Yeah. And you took it, or You pump fake, went to the rim, made a play with somebody else. I don't need you taking 7, 8 threes because that means you settling. You can't shoot that good, G.
We don't know that. We'll see.
Even if he can, you too big for that, bro.
Why?
You too big for that.
Why?
No,
because you know what that also does? Same way you talk about Steph Curry. He gets easy twos because he can shoot threes well. So if you had that count for him, if I'm Lonzo, if Lonzo can get to around 35 to 37% from three this year by God's gift, right? Then that means every time Bron throw me a pass out there, pump fake, oh, you gonna jump now because you're not playing me for the drive, and I'm just gonna drive. And I'm 6'6", 210. I should be able to make it. And if not, I can pass better than anybody else. They collapse on defense, throw somebody else a pass. That's what opens Lonzo's game up. It's not gonna, if he's just going to the rim, you just play him to go to the rim because you know he can't fucking shoot.
No, listen.
Same thing with Russ. So I'm not saying that you're saying that. I'm saying that's my only argument for Lonzo. If he takes if he takes over, not saying he should shoot 7 threes a game, but I'm saying that should be the max.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? He had a few games last year where he's taking 10. No.
Yeah,
7 should be your max.
If you're taking 10
5 should be the area where you really landing in.
If
maximum.
you're taking 10 threes and you completely settle in, I don't like that shit.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, rounding it out, final thoughts before we get to the Lakers basketball and yeah. I mean, you the LeBron fan. Where LeBron go, you go.
Look, man, I'm just, again, last year I was opposed. Bron going to LA, I thought that he had a good team in Cleveland. I still think he has a good team in Cleveland.
You didn't see the vision.
But I didn't fully see the vision until later on in the year. I think that this gives LeBron the best chance to prolong his career. Because, again, in Cleveland, he would have been the one handling the ball. Like, you can't continue to do that at 35, 36, 37 years. It's legit impossible. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Your body is going to eventually break down. You need somebody else to be able to take some of the pressure off you. And I think that even just how fast they play, like if they can just perfect playing at that speed and be efficient with it and not turn the ball over, man, I genuinely think we could be headed for like the Showtime of our era.
Yeah, it's like the Suns 7-second or less offense, but with more of a warrior style and that field style triangle built into it. Yeah. Which, if you thinking about it, Luke Walton has played under Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr has affected kind of
doesn't play. He coached under. Coached under.
I'm sorry. He coached under.
Played on the field though.
I mean, he played on the field, but he coached under Steve Kerr, who played on the field, and you know what I'm saying. So so they both have that same type of mentality. I think with this offense this year, the biggest thing is just gonna be guys just getting adjusted to just getting open 3-point looks, right? Last year, guys, a lot of their threes that they were taking weren't necessarily always open and in rhythm. And obviously, Lonzo shot abysmally from the 3-point line, so that affects your team's 3-point shooting. Versus this year, you're going to get a lot more of those open looks, even looking at guys like KCP. I mean, in the first game versus the Warriors, he got so many open looks because all you had to do was just be moving, right?
Even Lonzo's looks, I feel like, are way more open and in rhythm.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But with that being said, you have the 7 seconds or less work because guys can shoot. Right, this 7 seconds or less is more like a 7 seconds or less, but everybody cut. Right, you're getting guys cutting because they don't have the team with shooters. The Lakers were the second worst 3-point shooting, team in the NBA last year, and it was only by percentage points. They would have been the worst 3-point and free throw shooting team in the league last year. So they have to shoot better. And with that being said, yeah, exactly, they have to shoot free throws better as well. So in that 7 seconds or less, running to style offense, but when they slow it down, it's more of like a triangle style on the perimeter cut type of warrior system. In order for you to get that, guys have to shoot well. So I think that if the Lakers can get their 3-point shooting percentages up to being in that 10 to 20 team in the league range, really 10 to 15 team in the league range, because LeBron's teams always shoot well from 3. They're always top in the league in scoring. Never really top in the league in defense, but they're always top in the league in scoring.
I think that
in Miami they were, but the Lakers team last year was a top 10 defense in the NBA, including after all the guys got hurt. I don't think they're going to be top 5. All they need to do is maintain top 10 defense this year. Their points are going to immediately jump up from where they were last year. LeBron comes in, immediately adds another 20 to 30 a game. So they're going to be interesting. But this has been King Watch, your boy TPJ. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Real TPJ. That's REEL TPJ. It's a film joke. If you don't get it, you damn dummy. As always, this show co-stars rap extraordinaire Pavy. Go ahead, get your plug in. As always,
man, follow me on Twitter at Pavy Word, PV, all one word, guys. No basketball opinions on my personal page. Personal page for Pavers, music and women. Speaking of Pavers Volume 1 is out right now. Every single streaming service you want to get it on, go get it.
Yeah, man, it's King Watch. We will now, next time, you see this show, we will be in the middle of the regular season. We will have had 2 Lakers games, so we'll have a lot to talk about, a lot to break down and analyze, man. And as always, it's your boy. Be responsible. Drink responsibly, even though we weren't drinking this show. And as always, we end the show with what? LeBron!